Hello friends, welcome to the video number 27 for the Python 3 series. And well, now it's the turn to talk about the while loop. And well, with the while loop we can do basically the same thing we did with the for loop. We talked about the for loop in the previous video, but I think basically we are gonna be using the for loop more to when we have to traverse through all the elements in a collection, right? As we saw on the previous video, when we are not sure how many times we're gonna be looping, well, we can be sure that that's again why basically these two kinds of loop, the for and the while, are interchangeable. But again, probably it's a little bit more friendly to use the for loop to traverse through the elements of collections, and the while loop is probably a little bit more friendly to probably more a general purpose, or when you don't know exactly how many times you want to loop, or well, to create infinite loops on purpose. So well, let's get a little bit more into the while loop. Usually what we're gonna be doing is checking the value or comparing the value that we have stored in a variable. In this case, my variable is the letter I. You can name it whatever you want, and I am assigning the value of 1. So here it is. The only thing we need to say to Python is while, right? My variable or whatever is stored inside of my variable, in this case is the letter I. Um, if this condition is true, right, I is less or equal to 10, then remember this is a statement, so we have to finish it with the colon. We do the enter, we press enter, and you should get the automatic indentation. And well, as in previous videos, we're just gonna print the value of uh, of the variable. I'm converting this value to a string, and then I'm concatenating the hello. That's pretty much it. Now, of course, here we can see that I is equal 1, so it's less than 10. Yes, it's true. So I'm gonna get here and print this, and then again, this is a loop, so I is always gonna be 1. So we are creating here an infinite loop, which in general is a bad thing. It's not something that we want to do, at least not in here. So if by accident you create an infinite loop like I'm gonna do here, you can just press Control C on your keyboard, and that will interrupt the infinite loop. So let's run this, and well, here it is printing 1 hello 1 hello. So press Control C, and we have a keyboard interrupt. Okay, so again, well, this is something that we don't usually want to do. What we need to do is to increment the value of this variable, or that is stored in this variable. So remember, you can do I equals I plus 1. We're going to talk about the other notation again, but this is probably the simplest. If you don't remember the other notation, just go with this. You should be fine. You are going to be fine. And well, there it is. 1 hello, 2 hello, 3 hello, until it finally reaches the 11, in which case 11 is greater, right? Is not lower or less than or equal to 10. Is actually greater. So this condition is false, so it breaks the loop. Again, then the other notation you can do is plus equals, and you can do whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily need to be 1. You can increment 2, 3, whatever you need to or you want to. So here it is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And well, you can of course go the other way around. So while I is greater or equal to 0, and instead of incrementing, I want to decrement by 2. Well, actually, let's do by 5. Eh. So there it is, 100, 95, so on until we reach 0. And there it is. So now what happens, and let's go back to the previous plus equals 1. Then this is a 10, this is lower, and here we had 1. Okay, this is our first example. Now what happened if I have an 11 in here? Well, basically nothing, right? Since the beginning, this condition is false, so it doesn't go inside of the loop. It just skip it completely. Now there are gonna be some times where I wanna get this instruction executed at least sorry, or one time, right? There are some programming languages that allows you to do something like a do, then the instructions, and then you put your while, and then the condition you wanna have to evaluate. But well, that doesn't exist here in Python. However, there is something that we can do to pretty much simulate that do while loop. And well, this is it. Now, here we're gonna be creating an infinite loop completely deliberately. We are creating this infinite loop. So we are gonna be controlling it, right? It's not gonna go uh, completely out of control, like it happened when I did this loop without the incremental in here. So what we need to do is just say while true, right? So we're passing as a condition the the boolean value of true. So we are forcing this to, well, again, as it evaluates to true, it's gonna go inside of the loop. And what we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna print the value of I and then hello, and then we're gonna increment, and then we're gonna be using a little if block. So we're gonna check here if the value of my variable is greater than 10, then we're gonna break. Now don't worry too much about the break. We're gonna talk about it a little bit more in about 2 or 3 videos. But well, basically what it does is it completely breaks the whole thing. This whole block, it's gonna take us out of it, right? So in this case, I have 11, so it's gonna come here. The value is true. It prints it, increments it. It doesn't really matter in this case. So I is 11 is greater than 10. Yes, this is true. So it's gonna get inside and it's gonna break the whole thing, right? So let's just run it, and there we have it. 11, hello, and then it finishes. Now what happens if I start with 1? Well, I get the exact same result. I start at 1, go to 10, and when I reach the 11, then it just breaks out of the loop. Okay? So again, we don't have a do while, but we can do this to kind of simulate that do while. And well, I think that's basically it for the while loop. Uh, So let's leave the video right here. And as always, I hope that you find this video useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks all of you for watching. And well, I hope to see you on the next video.